The 2021 Suzuki Jimny is hot property in Australia. There are a massive waiting list for this car and it's already become something of a modern classic. 2021 also marks 50 years of the Suzuki four-wheel drive in Australia. So to celebrate, we've brought along Grandad. This is a 1977 Suzuki LJ50. It's very small, even compared to this. It's two-stroke and it's very awesome. Today we're going to compare these two four-wheel drives, the old and the new, inside and out, and we're going to see how capable these Suzukis are off-road. Let's go. Walk into a Suzuki dealership back in 1977 and you were looking at a $4,205 asking price for an LJ50 like this one. And that equates to roughly $25,000 in today's money. It's designed according to Japan's local K-car regulations, and that means the LJ50 was restricted in terms of engine size and overall dimensions. It measures in at only 3.17 meters long and 1.3 meters wide, and sits on a very small wheelbase, 1.93 meters or 75 inches in the old money. It's got live axles and leaf springs underneath, along with a low-range transfer case and part-time four-wheel drive system. Under the bonnet is a 540cc, yes, just over half a litre, 3-cylinder petrol two-stroke engine. That makes 19.8 kilowatts and 36.3 newton meters. No, that's not a lot of power, but the gearing is low, and don't forget this car weighs only 675 kilos. This wonderful example has been owned by Matt for many years now, who is an active member of the Suzuki Four-Wheel Drive Club of New South Wales. The 2021 Jimny has been a victim of its own success in Australia, with demand outstripping supply and a long waiting list forming up. It's powered by a 1.5 litre petrol 4-cylinder engine, which makes 75 kilowatts and 130 newton meters, and that runs through, in our instance, a 5-speed manual gearbox. The four-wheel drive system is part-time with a low-range transfer case. There are coil-sprung live axles underneath, which is quite a rarity in this day and age. With a manual transmission, you're looking at $28,450 before on-road costs, if you're lucky enough to get into one. This is the interior of the 2021 Jimny, and I love what Suzuki has done in here. It's modern, it's got a lot of stuff going on, but it's got some real throwback designs as well. The Speedo and Tacho, they're reminiscent of the old Sierras. You do have a multi-function display in front of you there. That's got a fuel readout, very small fuel tank on this, and a temperature thing. It's all quite basic, but it suits this car really well. Infotainment, that's a touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Nice and simple, works. I would love to have a volume dial on there, however, but you can't have it all sometimes. Air conditioning, buttons down here. You've got one 12-volt and one USB outlet. And probably my favorite thing about this car, one, manual gearbox. Choose this over the auto, in my opinion. It's much better. And a proper low-range transfer case. That is awesome. This LJ50 is the height of automotive simplicity, and I absolutely love it. In front of me here, I've got a simple speedo, fuel readout, engine temperature indicators, all that basic stuff, but that's about it. There is a 12-volt outlet here, but Matt tells me that's probably not standard. Windscreen wipers, if you want to wash your windscreens, you have to pump this down to build up some pressure so it sprays water on the windscreen. That's pretty cool. And you do have a heater in this car, so it's not completely devoid of features. Got a 4-speed manual in this case, unlike the 5-speed in the new Jimny, but we still have a low-range transfer case lever there. Another cool feature on this LJ50, currently there are no doors on this thing, so someone could potentially steal it, but the handbrake is lockable, so you put the handbrake on, put your key in and turn it. People can't drive this thing away anymore, so you can keep it all nice and open on those summer days. Like many old four-wheel drives, you can take the doors of this Suzuki and drive on-road, off-road, it doesn't matter. This has a cool feature though. If you're worried about falling out, you've got this bar. Pull it out and chuck it in there. It's a little bit harder to fall out of this thing now, but you've also got canvas doors. So if the weather's not so good, I reckon this weighs about 3 kilos. It's incredibly light and it simply pops on. Let's see if I can do it. One. There we are, simple as that. This Suzuki Jimny is quite unlike any other four-wheel drive on the market. It's small and it's got this sense of nimbleness and agility that the others don't have. They're just too big. They've got diesel engines, big wheelbases, high curb masses, all that sort of thing. This is small and zippy. 1.5 litre petrol engine. It's not exactly a powerhouse down low. You find you do have to rev it out a little bit to get the most out of it, but it is a happy revver. And then once it goes, it zings along actually quite well. And like I mentioned before, 5-speed manual transmission is the pick. You might prefer an automatic, but it just tends to feel a little bit more sluggish, a little bit more lethargic than this 5-speed. Just having that extra ratio goes a long way, I think, when you've got a smaller motor. And in terms of off-road capability, this Jimny is actually very good. Don't be fooled into thinking it's just some kind of retro small SUV, something cute for the town. It is pretty good at cruising around town, to be honest with you. Good turning circle, good visibility, decent fuel economy, all those things. And it looks the part, but this thing is also very good off-road. It's got good ground clearance and great approach and departure angles. There are no locking differentials, but the traction control system in the Jimny is quite good. Because it's a small revvy petrol engine, you can't idle the Jimny through obstacles like a turbo diesel. You need a dose of momentum and you'll find a sweet spot where the Jimny is happy to climb through tough terrain quite well. In many ways, the Jimny is like an old car built new. It's got a level of engagement and excitement that is simply missing from most other new vehicles these days. But I think the old LJ50 is going to be even more exciting and probably a bit of a handful as well. I'm counting myself very lucky today because I've always admired these old Suzukis, but normally from a distance. Never had the opportunity. Let's find third gear, there it is. Never actually had the opportunity to drive one until today. And it's a really, really cool experience. The driving experience of this LJ50 is unlike any other. Firstly, it's a two-stroke engine. It's completely different engine design. It's got no sump, it's got no crankcase like a normal engine does. It actually drip feeds oil in through a special pump system. It's like the engine in your chainsaw. But I've got to say, it gets along all right. It's incredibly noisy, it's incredibly revvy. It sounds like a rotary when you're driving it. That's what I love about this car so much, and what I love about the new Suzuki four-wheel drive. It's stuck to its guns, it's stuck to that same ethos of lightweight, petrol-powered, wheels at all four corners capability. And it makes it a really unique vehicle today, and it makes it still very capable. And I think that's the secret to success of Suzuki. We've seen other four-wheel drives like the Land Rover Defender, Nissan Patrol, and others just change the recipe, move with the times over the years, but Suzuki hasn't done that, and it's to such benefit. There is a direct link between this car and that new 21 Suzuki Jimny, and that's so cool. Stick it into low range here, low range transfer case, lever, just like the new Jimny. It's a bit of a rarity these days. There we go, all right. There's a little bit of torque on takeoff there, and the gearing is quite low. But this thing will rev quite a lot. And that's where its peak power is, obviously. But I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds absolutely awesome. It actually crawls at low revs quite nicely. Thought it'd be kind of gutless down the bottom end because it's a two-stroke, but it's not too bad. Really low gearing. All right, here goes nothing. God, I'm nervous. Don't want to crash this car. Not that time. It's challenging, but it's so much fun. Oh, oh my lordy lord. The track is a bit boggy now, so it's not the easiest conditions for this little Suzuki. Makes me nervous when the owner tells me to punch it. There we go! Woo! Yeah. Man, this is the coolest car in the world, as far as I'm concerned. You can certainly find something more capable and easy to drive off-road, but I reckon you're going to be looking a long time to find something more fun. The nature of this LJ50 means getting the best out of it isn't easy, and it puts the onus back on the driver to get it right. But when you do, it's hilarious fun. The tiny size and weight and that ridiculous two-stroke motor, it relishes being driven pretty hard on challenging off-road tracks. This is a proper bucket list car for me to drive and one day own, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to get behind the wheel. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I have making it today. I've had an absolute ball behind the wheel of these two four-wheel drives. Let us know in the comments below if you did enjoy it, hit the like button while you're there, and let us know if there are some other old versus new videos you'd love us to do. Maybe a Land Rover, a Land Cruiser, something weird, something kooky. We'd love to hear about it. But I have to say, this Suzuki LJ50 is such a unique vehicle. They say they don't make them like they used to, and this is the best example of that. The old apple didn't fall far from the tree in 2021, however, and this new Suzuki Jimny is great fun to drive on and off-road and is still super capable. I can see why this vehicle is in such hot demand in 2021. While I'm not sure I'd recommend daily driving this LJ50, I've got to say this is one of the most fun automotive experiences I've ever had. And this one's actually not far behind it. Thanks for watching.